Listen, I mean that Prince William is done being kind when I say that he has finally had enough. He has been watching the monarchy become a soap opera headline after headline for years. The world was shown the family drama, the leaks, and the tell-alls. William maintained his composure and smiled courteously as the storm brewed all around him. However, that serenity has recently broken. Insiders murmur behind the royal gates that William's patience broke when he discovered the reputation of the crown was not under attack from the outside. It was internally bleeding. According to reports, he has informed advisors that the monarchy cannot continue to give in to emotion. In other words, no more second chances. He believes that keeping the institution pure, even if it means severing his own brother, is essential. According to people close to the future king, he has reached the end of his rope. He has witnessed the mayhem. He's finished seeing the crown appear feeble, and he's heard the laughs. It's not about retaliation. It's a matter of survival. Additionally, William believes that using the sword is occasionally necessary for survival. There have reportedly apparently been some private discussions going on, the kind that are never recorded in formal minutes. Williams's inner circle is alleged to have been working with reputable legal counsel on a plan that might forever alter the royal landscape. The discussion, parliamentary alignment, and action guarantee that the next monarch can revoke or reinterpret royal status without facing political opposition. It's not just about punishing Harry and Meghan, according to sources. The goal is to create a contemporary monarchy devoid of unnecessary burdens. One insider summed it up exactly. It's not shocking. It's surgical. There's nothing big or loud about this idea. It's silent, accurate, and incredibly powerful. Archie and Lilibet are the two names that are the center of attention. Supporters of Williams contend that royal titles are meaningless if the children are not brought up with a sense of royal duty, symbols that don't provide any services. According to rumors, this new parliamentary strategy would ensure that, after William assumes the throne, those emblems can be removed in a tidy and lawful manner. Under the pretense of reform, it is a revolution. And there won't be any hoopla or rage when the time arrives. Ink and seal will be used. Centuries of change in a single signature. This is where the tale becomes quite sharp. Because Parliament does not actually have the authority to remove titles. It is derived from something far older, letters patent, which are buried deep inside royal heritage. Consider it the secret weapon of the monarchy, a document that establishes who is and is not considered royal. Like an artist deleting names from a canvas, a king or queen can repaint the genealogy map with a single update. King George I's 1917 restriction of prince and princess titles to the grandchildren of the current monarch was the last significant revision. Later, when Charles ascended to the throne, Archie and Lilibet were granted royal status under that authority. Here's the catch, though. That regulation is not set in stone. Anytime a king or successor with sufficient power chooses to consolidate power, it could change. Additionally, according to insiders, William's legal counsel has already written the text for a potential update. Only working royals and direct heirs will be eligible for royal titles under the proposed amendment. This implies that anyone living outside of their royal duties, including royal children raised overseas, would instantly lose their status. No appeal, no argument, no lawsuit. It's sophisticated, definitive, and entirely lawful. The unshattered sword of the monarchy. When that edict is issued, Archie and Lilibet's regal titles disappear like mist at dawn, which is where the whispers transform to gas. For Meghan, losing a title isn't the only thing at stake. It has to do with losing the cornerstone of her whole post-royal persona. The atmosphere inside Buckingham Palace has changed to heavy. Once bound together by duty, King Charles and Prince William now stand on opposite sides of the same gilded corridor. Charles continues to wish for peace. Always the diplomat and the father, he thinks that letters, tea, and second opportunities may help mend fences. However, William has reached the end of his patience and empathy. According to sources, the two men have engaged in more than just civil arguments. Sharp silences, furious private encounters, and a purported incident in which Charles exhorted William to remember mercy have all occurred. William's "mercy brought us here," you respond. He is not motivated by rage. It's objective. He believed that every time Charles showed forgiveness, a new controversy ensued. The royal name is being tarnished by yet another documentary and headline. Emotion is no longer a virtue in William's eyes. He believes it to be the weak point of the monarchy. Furthermore, Parliament demands outcomes even though Charles is still committed to mending the family. Politicians mutter that they will have to step in if the monarchy doesn't change its ways quickly. William only needed to hear that. The Arab apparent has finished awaiting authorization. The future monarch found his playbook here. Denmark's Queen Margaret startled her country a few years ago by depriving 4 of her grandsons of their royal titles across the North Sea. It was transparency, she argued, not harshness. Too many royals, not enough of a reason. William kept a close eye on that movement. He praised her for it, according to sources, describing it as necessary, clean, and courageous. Margaret demonstrated to him that a monarchy may endure by identifying who actually serves, not by maintaining everyone's royal status. William started researching her methods behind closed doors. The public announcement, the legal actions, and the timing. His administration reportedly sought advice from advisors with experience in European monarchs on how to reduce the size of the royal family without causing trouble. This served as his model, a more compact, streamlined, and orderly modern monarchy. The message was that Britain could succeed if Denmark could do it without failing. Additionally, any headline regarding William's conviction solidified, whether it was scandal or entitlement. When he inherits the throne, titles will become obligations rather than benefits, and the removal of anyone who treats them like brand names. We are here in sunny California, where people's nerves are frayed. Meghan Markle's charm, self-assurance, and one key word, Duchess, have allowed her to establish an empire in Montecito. That title is the center of all the speaking engagements, brand partnerships, and podcasts. In Hollywood, the Duchess of Sussex is known for it. However, the word panic allegedly broke out as word circulated that William's reform would remove those titles. Her team reportedly started calling emergency meetings, according to insiders. PR consultants were called in, and a single phrase reverberated in each exchange. What would happen if it disappeared? Because Meghan's brand loses its luster without royal gloss. Spotify withdrew already. Netflix calmed down. Additionally, she hoped that lifestyle brand would be a whisper rather than a shout, competing with Goop. According to sources, Meghan even looked into legal options to trademark the Duchess of... anything to preserve the royal fragrance, even Sussex as a surname. However, rumors have claimed that William anticipated it and took discreet action to prevent royal names from being used for profit in trademarks going forward. The message from the other side of the Atlantic is very clear. The name of the monarchy is being reclaimed. And the foundation beneath Meghan, whose whole identity was based on that name, is beginning to tremble. The royal family's internal strife has finally reached a complete standstill. Before the final decision was made, Prince Harry allegedly made one last, frantic call to his father in the hopes of receiving a lifeline. He wasn't the Duke of Sussex when he called. He was pleading for the family he knew, posing as Charles's son. However, the line remained silent. Charles didn't answer, according to people with knowledge of the matter. Rather, communications went unanswered but were acknowledged. That quiet spoke it all for Harry. The monarchy was no longer in power. Meghan attempted to maintain control back in California by creating statements, considering her choices, and chatting in private about media narratives. However, William was already securing the future across the Atlantic. According to one palace source, the atmosphere was ideal. It was cleaning, not fury. For Harry, losing titles was not the source of his sadness. It was the knowledge that his brother was no longer battling him. All he was doing was wiping off the battlefield. Overnight, the energy of Montecito changed. Suddenly, the never-ending ringing phones slowed. No one responded to the invitations. Even companies that had previously pleaded for her signature hesitated, anticipating her next move. Sources near Meghan said she couldn't believe it. Her armor, her aura, the link between the royal mystique and Hollywood glitz had all been the Duchess title. Without it, she was just Meghan once more. Insider information depicts a state of panic. Legal consultations, crisis meetings in glass offices, and the overnight creation of fresh PR plans. However, the harm had already been done. Former royals are not sought after by Hollywood. Relevance is what it seeks. Additionally, Meghan's brand was beginning to lose its luster. In the meantime, daybreak arrived in London on the other side of the water. The atmosphere within Buckingham Palace was oddly serene, and the building gleamed softly. There was order for the first time in years. The commotion has subsided. Before him, no king had ventured to undertake what William, now fully assuming the position of reformer, had done. He had distinguished between the throne and family. Applause was not the reason he did it. He did it to leave a legacy. Sharper and leaner, the monarchy appeared nearly rejuvenated. People started to notice him in a new way, as a leader who took action while others hesitated, not as the quiet prince. He was referred to as necessary by some and cruel by others, as well as Meghan. She gazed at a world that no longer referred to her as Duchess, somewhere in California. This marked the beginning of a new era for the monarchy. It was the quiet after the storm for Meghan and Harry. After all, royals are not made of titles. Integrity does. Additionally, once the royal gates shut, one mystery hung over yet another tale of royal catastrophe. Who is Meghan now if the Duchess is no longer there?